Howdy, howdy, folks. So good to see you all on this lovely Monday. Thank you all for being here so early. You know the drill. As soon as we get past these ads, we're going to dive in to the stream proper. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be there in just a short couple of minutes. Welcome on back. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Hold on, we gotta do this right. What am I doing? Spend one weekend away. One weekend, and it's like the whole world is gone. Hello. How are we all doing today? Welcome on in. It is so good to have you all here. Welcome in on this beautiful Monday. Karazes, Mothman Centaur, 8 Dev, Nicholson Morrow, Polygon Pilgrimage, Pokejohn, Tom, Millman. Hello. Welcome in, everyone. It's so good to have you here. How was everybody's weekend? Tom, I did not know about you quitting. Last I heard, you were concerned about like medications and stuff due to job loss and everything. Like, maybe that was the same thing. I thought you were talking about like hypothetically, if you were to quit, then you would have to make sure you had this squared away. Tremendously exciting, Tom. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Tom quit his job to focus on game dev. Super duper exciting. So I can't wait for the 12-hour streams that we're going to be getting every day now, right? Oh, snap. And I just YouTube searched Tom Millman, and immediately comes up students of Skydive Sussex with this man's face all over the place. Look at this. Look at that. Look at all that Tom, that pure, unadulterated Tom. Incredible. The whole of Twitch knows 24th is Tom's last day. Oh, shoot. That's funny. This isn't your developer account, though. I'm remembering now. This is you have a different account. And I can never remember what it's called. It's like TDSR Entertainment. There we go. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. I quit my job. Oh, you can't really see it. Hold on. I quit my job for this. It's declared. It's on YouTube. It must be true. How are you feeling, Tom? That's a big jump. It's one thing to, like, get kicked out, you know, and start. It's another thing to be like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump in. How are you feeling? For anyone who missed that video, by the way, there you go. Oh, there's my YouTube analytics. Fun. Thanks, Chrome. Oh, goodness. Okay. Finished up a game for the Godot Wild Jam this weekend. Oh, congratulations, 8 Dev. Very nice. That's awesome. How do you feel it went? Alex, hello. Welcome on in. How was your weekend? Were you able to get some rest in after your massive crunch time? 24th is the last day, so until then I still need to pretend to work. Oh, shoot. That's funny. Oh, man. Isn't that what we all do? Someone asked me yesterday, Joe, how's the new thing going? I said, listen, I worked, optimistically speaking, 5 to 6 hours per day. at previous full-time jobs. Not because, like, I'm a bad employee or anything, but because there's kind of only so much you can do in a day, and, you know, you're always waiting on other people, on meetings, and, you know, all sorts of stuff, right? Now, I work 12 to, like, 16-hour days, and I've never had more energy in my life. And so, I feel like a lot of the times, unless you're very, very lucky, those full-time employment places are just really, really difficult to have be incredibly meaningful. You know, it's hard to really invest into a lot of these. So, incredible amounts of congratulations, Tom. I hope it goes as well as it possibly can. You know that we're all here to help out however we can. No rest for the wicked. If it ain't programming, it's writing. Are you writing like a novel or something? What's going on with that, Alex? Went surprisingly well, says 8 Gun Dev. Was a rush to get it in on time, but I think it ended up being the most fleshed out jam game I've done. That's awesome. That is super cool. Do you have a link to it or something? Can you throw it in the chat? Writing the diploma? Do you have to write your own diploma? What do you mean writing the diploma? What? All right. Devil's in the details. Recently, demons have started making contracts with humans. In order to regulate this, an organization was created to manage these contracts and ensure the bureaucracy. It goes everywhere. Theory diagrams? What? Is this a requirement in order for you to get the diploma? Like, you're not writing the actual diploma, right? Oh, you're writing a thesis. They call it writing a diploma? The only time we refer to diploma is like the actual paper that you get when you graduate. Thesis abstract paper. Okay. Wow. Interesting. There you go. I've learned something new today. Well, goodness gracious. So when's that due, Alex? You're an employee, an ex-employee of said organization, and must appease your customers to avoid getting bad reviews and ultimately fired. Gotcha. You're an employee who's under threat of becoming an ex-employee. Okay, got it. Look over contracts using your trusty rulebook to determine whether or not they are void. If you find one that's void, stamp it. Before returning to... We're just gonna give this a little spin. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. Devil's in the details. Oh, that's so evil to, like... have demonic contract negotiation and also contract negotiation. Okay. Do I click on you? Do I drag you over? Okay. Oh, so much skeuomorphism here. All names must be correct. Basic rules. Okay. Oh dear. So I have to compare the names against these ones. Okay, definitely feeling... Oh dear, how do I close this? There we go. Come on. There we go. There we go. Come on. Drag. Drag. There we go. I'm sorry, Alex. 2D Fighter, how's it going? It's going very well. Yeah, how are you doing? How are you doing, friend? Oh, and I didn't connect the tiny little people. How will people know that we're a popular streamer? If I don't have tiny little people on the bottom of the screen, no one will know. It's going very well, yeah. I'm just doing all sorts of community work today, mostly. How are you doing? Let's expand this out a little bit, because that's pretty tiny. Ashley Nelson and Trezanok. This contract is between Ashley Nelson and Trezanok. Ashley agrees to provide Trezanok with a monthly sacrifice of fish for a year in exchange for being able to code perfectly in Rust. That doesn't sound too bad. Not gonna lie. That's a very low-key, high-reward demonic pack. 10 out of 10. Would recommend doing that one. If you go out of the screen while holding it, messes up the holding detection a bit. Okay. There's a full screen button. I know, but this is a weird thing on my setup, and I need to get it fixed. I am on a Samsung Odyssey, like, mega ultra wide, so if I full screen stuff, it doesn't come through on the stream very well. So, Jack, hello, welcome on in. We're playing 8gon Dev's Godot Wild Jam submission. Let me throw the link back in the chat, and that'll go over to YouTube as well. Yeah, so we're checking it out. We just barely got started. 2D Fighter working on running animation for Plum Knight. Very cool 2D Fighter. That's awesome. I can't wait to see how it goes. Okay, so we have a stamp. I stamp. Oh, it is void. My apologies. Okay. Hendrik Clarkson and Vol Gamen. This contract is agreed upon between Hendrik Clarkson and Vol Gamen. Hendrik agrees to give a sum of $1 million in return for being able to lift 10-pound weights. Hendrik. Unless you literally don't have arms, you've been duped, my friend. So how do I, like, approve of them? Do I just hand it off to him? Okay. Daily rating summary. Okay. There's a bug currently as well where if you retry a day, the game hangs before the next day. Okay. Extremely disappointing service. Avoid at all costs. Managed to void my contract with the demon. Now I'm free. Extremely bad lawyer. I'm taking my business elsewhere. Very cute. Hey, I got an average of 2 stars. Oh, we can buy upgrades. Voiding contracts gets you money? Okay. Are these just decorations? Okay. So we want to get through as many as we can. Of course, the nun made a... Oh, dear. Sarah Point. Between Trasanock and Sarah Point, Sarah agrees to give 1 year her of life in exchange for receiving high ratings in the Godot Wild Jam. They increase your ratings. Got it, got it. What are the rules? So I'm trying to figure that out, Jack. It says all names must be correct and contracts must be signed. Oh, did not void a contract that should be voided. Okay. I'm curious why. Okay. Open. Bethany Oliver, it's signed. And Volgamen details that Bethany shall receive fame and fortune in exchange for providing daily offerings. I mean, the contract seems accurate. How do I get rid of this? Do I just... Okay. Yar, Mark Walker, and Salgath. Oh, the names are wrong between Mark Walker and Karaman. Void. There we go. It's like Papers, Please. It is like Papers, Please, but with demon contracts. Except you're a regular lawyer. All right, we got Freddy over here. Or Jason, rather. Contract is buy-in between Axel Lehman and Salgath. And it's signed, so there you go. Ooh, we're already at the end of the day. My. On page 2, you get the names of people. I did see that, but, like... Is that the total list of people? Office vibes need a major upgrade. What, half a star? Won't void demon contracts go somewhere else? Okay, so that's the total names. Okay, got it. Where's the decor at? Office felt hella unwelcoming. It's a place where you talk about hell. It should be unwelcoming. What, you think this is supposed to be good times? All right, cool. Well, there you go. That's very cute. Devil's in the details. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing, 8gon. Congratulations on getting that built and out the door. That's huge. That's huge. How's it been received? How are people receiving it? Hold on. Am I following you on Itch? I'm not. I should be. There we go. View the submission page. Yes. Nice. Good. You're getting some attention. That's good. Very cute. I failed every single contract. And the second one, I perfected it. That's hilarious. Very, very cute. Snowies! Hey! That was my favorite first prize winner of Jackie Code's jams. How you doing, Snowies? Good to see you. Welcome in. Seems to be getting good reviews, mostly QL that's been getting reported. I'll be doing a post-jam update afterwards. Nice! Very cool, Icon. Yeah, jams are so hard to fit in, like, good UX and quality of life stuff. Oh my goodness. Hey, should we take a look at our game? Should we see kind of where we're at and what we need to keep on doing? Let's do it. Oh, stop. No, you don't. No, don't stop. Don't stop, Snowies. Keep making games. Keep making cool stuff. So we've got all this going. It's getting better and better, and we wanted to do like some squish squash on these guys just to have some pseudo animations for when powers go and damage is taken and stuff. Yes, we have some screen shake when you actually do a power. You have screen shake, and we've got our shader for changing colors on things. We also have this very light, like you can't even tell, white little flash when you do a power. And a little bit of zoom. And it may all be too much, I don't know. But we had fun looking at Slay the Spire and seeing how they did it and kind of copying some stuff. So yeah, let's work on that squish squash. Squish squash. Working on commissioning actual art instead of all the free assets I use for the jam. Very cool, Snowies. That's awesome. How'd I miss the Slay the Spire Godot? I mean, it was only for like 10 minutes. We just loaded it up real quick to kind of see what their screen shake was like. And, you know, I was wondering, like, do they have black bars when it shakes like I do? Like, what's going on there? So. Laszlo's Tinctures. In case anyone didn't get to play Laszlo's Tinctures, this was Jackie Code's #1 Game Inner Jam. You should go play it. It's really cool. We played it on stream. It was fun. Very fun. Neat little puzzle game that I wouldn't have expected. Okay. Squish Squash. Power Nade. We have a tween. We are tweening. Our scale. Supposedly. But I think that's where we left off last week, was we're not seeing the squish squash happening, so there must be something wrong. Yeah, no, there's nothing happening there. Is it running oh wait, we have errors. Let's check our errors. Power end. Already connected to given callable no 2D villain. Huh. These are new. We weren't getting these last week, were we? HTML5 doesn't like GameMaker built-in move and collide. Sorry, Snowies. Jeez. When using for slopes. Really? That's weird, 2D fighter. That's a bummer. Sorry to hear that. That's probably a lot of extra work for you now. Hold on, I need to try and fix this lighting a little bit. Okay. Okay. Power end is already being connected? Is that true? This is an villain. Are we doing it in... Ooh. Where are we connecting power end? We're only connecting it in one place. Godot. What do you mean? Power end is already connected. But it's not. Might be calling setup twice? Maybe? Signal setup? No? No, we're just calling it once. How bizarre. Villain parent.gd, signal setup. Signal power end is already connected to given callable no 2D villain parent.gd, which is what we're in that object. I mean, yeah, it's only, we have the signal in the signal bus. we're emitting it in the player, and then we are connecting to it. So, do we have like multiple instances of the villain script or something? No, it's just, its only owner is the villain parent, right? How do I show owners? I did this just a little bit ago. Figured this out. Ah, view owners. Fight scene and fight scene second, but that's fine. Wait, fight scene? Oh, that's actor parent, though. We don't... That's a problem for another day. Villain parent. Yeah, you're only in villain parent. Do you have function villain turn and affect villain? Villain turn and affect villain. So, yes. Villain turn and affect villain, right there. Although, I mean, this is a mess. Why is this called affect villain? If the only thing that we're doing is checking if health is less than 0, then defeating it. Feels like that's an artifact of a prior coding spree that got refactored a bit and did not get fixed. But then we also have this one saying it's getting connected twice, and player damage saying it's getting connected twice. Wait a minute. Yep, it's this. Our parent script is running signal setup. And then, okay, so if we just change this to be like actor, then that should make all that go away. It was an inheritance problem. Some beautiful code. I know, right, Jack? You know, I really believe in code as art. And if people can, like, understand it, then I'm not being obscure enough, right? Robotech, hello, welcome in. Are you connecting them in the inheriting class? Yeah, it's that I was calling the signal setup function twice, effectively. That's what it was. Okay, so we are at our breakpoint. We're still getting errors. Node not found. Animated sprite 2D. Okay. Let's go to our villain here. What do you mean? Also, where's our tween? Where's this? This is an actor parent. Okay, that's our problem. This is an actor parent. So we need that's not gonna work, is it? We're in the actor parent instead of yeah, that's wrong. We need to move that into the individuals. That's wrong. Wait, no. Freaking Godot. Where am I? Why is that an actor parent? But then it's in villain parent. You might need the name of the node. Yeah, well, it's weird. Okay. All right. This is apparently in the wrong... Yeah. This is in the wrong place, because we don't want this in the actor parent. We want this in villain and... Because we're going to want these happening at different times, right? Where the player is going to squish squash on power and on damage, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. There may have been method to that madness. Because now I can just call this, right? I can call this whenever I need to inside of the... Okay, yeah. But the problem is, this is not... Like, actor parent is not a part of the tree. It's not owned by anything. It's just a script we're inheriting from. Which should be, like, here. Like, we're supering, right? To root, fight, villain, villain, parent. Fight, villain, villain, parent. But then there's animated sprite 2D, so that should be working just fine. Remember, P target is null. That's just tweening stuff. Okay. Huh. What could be our cause here? You know, I'm going to noodle on this one a little bit more. I can't quite grok this, because it seems like node not found relative to villain parent. But, like, it's right there. So, like, it should just be animated sprite 2D. I mean, like, sure, we can bring this in, but like, I don't think it's really gonna matter, right? Debugger, yeah, node already not found. Already not found. Whoa! Ha! We went full kaiju just in time for ads. So with that being said, we're gonna go to ads. Admire the massive kaiju legs, and we'll be right back. Ooh. So yeah, Jack, I don't know if anyone knows this about me, but I actually am primarily a fitness influencer. My whole shtick is encouraging people to work out their underdeveloped knee muscles, and specifically kneecap muscles. Something that we don't do enough of. You can see, like, That's what you should be able to do. Most people only have 1/10 that range of motion, and it's really sad because I make lots of money if people believe me. Okay. So that's fun. So we're gonna tween back down to 1. We don't need a random range. So we'll just reset. And we'll do that more quickly. And then we definitely don't want them getting that big. So let's go to like 1.05 to 1.2. Sure. Let's try that. Half a second is a little long. Let's go to like 3 and then take the ease back into 1. Okay. All right. So there we go. We've got Squish Squash. There we go. So I think I am going to set this to pass, though, in the actor. And then in the player, we'll go ahead and set it up and everything. So our signal setup, we're going to have, in effect, we are going to... this is in player. We're going to do Squish Squash. Too few arguments. What are you supposed to get in argumentation for Squish Squash? You need a power name? Nah. Just modded my new 2DS XL, and I can now get Animal Crossing New Leaf for free. Oh, Finn. Sounds like a fun project. Okay. Oh, this is probably not the best place to talk about, like, if it is, piracy. Okay. You never said anything. That's probably a good policy on that sort of thing. Okay. Although I could feel the excitement. I could feel it. Okay, so we are gonna Squish Squash when we do a power. And then in the villain parent, we're going to have before the villain turn in, we're gonna Squish Squash. Let's see if this works. Let's see what happens here. Doot. Good, okay. So we're squishing, but not. There we go, okay. So... we need to, like... wait on this. Because I think it's calling this function and then calling this one while the tween is happening. And we want villain turn end to wait until Squish Squash is done. I can't discuss how I plundered English booty with me mates on your trusty sloop. No. Privateering only. Only privateering allowed here, Sir Alex. And on take damage. Yes, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to, like, bounce them, do a different tween where we bounce them back a little bit. That's going to be the take damage side. So can I just do a wait dot? Is that going to work? You misheard sloop. Okay. Expected signal or coroutine after wait. So no, that's not gonna work. I really don't want to like set a timer. To make this not a timer. Yuckity. Yuckity. Yuck. Drucks. McDucks. Okay. So we'll do get tree dot add child? No. No. Get node? No. Oh, shoot. How do you add a timer? I can never remember the syntax for this. Await get tree dot create timer to 1 dot timeout. That can be cool. We cool. You can do a wait timer 0.3 timeout with the way you actually add timers. Add child, I think. Okay, cool. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. Okay. And then are we actually going to get... Yeah! Awesome! Haven't coded in ages, got exams going on right now. Oh, man, Alex, bless your heart. Or Alex, Jack. Bless your heart, Jack. Still telling me that can't find that? Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know. I mean, clearly you can. Clearly you work just fine. So that will probably cause problems way down the line when I've forgotten all about this. Okay, so got Squish Squash. We're gonna do funk. You know, we don't even need a new funk. We can just do it in this damage. We can say we can add animation players. And honestly, we didn't even need to do the Squish Squash with shaders, did we? We could have done that. Or no, we're not doing it with shaders. We're doing it with tweens. We didn't need to do it with tweens. We could have done it with the animation player, but I mean, whatever. Okay. So we're gonna add an animation. This is gonna be damage or recoil. Damage, whatever. Take damage. Okay. On take damage, we're going to do let's see. Offset. And then come on. Excuse you? What's going on? Oh. We're too zoomed in. That's why. Got it. Okay. Just move back 50 pixels. And then key. Gosh dang it. This is so strange. Sometimes this animation player really just breaks. Like, I don't quite understand setting things versus not. Because, like, these don't do anything. But if I jump into here and I try and, like, change the value on something, it doesn't change. There. You should be at -50. But then, like, I leave and I must be missing some sort of, like, Save. Done. There we go. Then back to 0. Key. Okay. Let's check out the curves. Cubic. Can I not modify the easing? Um, 0.3. 0.4. There we go. Okay. Man. Yeah, that's how I want it. Like, I want to change the cubic. But, okay, whatever. This is good enough for now. Good enough for now. Okay, take that. And then we're going to go to our player scene. Gonna paste that in. This is take damage. Good. Okay. So now, when in the actor parent, we take damage, we can call our animation player, which I'm sure Godot is also going to yell at me about, and say animation player dot play take damage. Yeah? If I remembered that correctly, I'd be really surprised if I did. Are you yelling at me too? Yeah. Let's see if it works. Hey, it works. It's on loop though. Okay. Okay. Take that off loop. Can't change loop made on animation embedded in another scene. What? All right. There we go. Try it again. Boop, boop, boop. Nice. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Nice. Okay. Obviously the timings aren't great, but like we have the systems in place. We can come back and refine it as we kind of get things better looking, which is great. Okay. Lovely. Jubbly. So what do we want to do next? We need, in addition to the squish squash, we also want a like driving forward. So we want the opposite of our animation player. So if we go to, wait, why do we have two animation players here? What's going on? Dragon Spirit! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, everyone who has jumped in with that raid. How are you today, Dragon Spirit? How you doing? How's life treating ya? How's Gaia? Balls. Hello, Incredibro. Good to see you. How are ya? Oh my goodness. How's it going? It's going very well. Thank you for asking. We are working on setting up the systems we need to like be polishing our little roguelike here, And we're working on kind of building out the reactions and actions for the player and the villain. So like when they take damage, they kind of slide back. And when they do damage, they'll do our squish squash. We want to slide them forward and do that. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. This is I'm calling it a Dexterity Roguelike, where you are trying to do these in a kind of Helldivers 2 stratagem-esque style execution method, and click on things in the right order. And then Slay the Spire, you go back and forth until you win or lose. If you win, you go to downtime activities where, you can train your powers and go save Aunt May and do all that fun stuff. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. We are also a charitable enterprise devoted to helping people enter the game industry. So we're building games right now and broadcasting that so everyone can learn and grow. As well, we have a game jam coming up in July, so stay tuned for that. Did someone say balls? Is your villain parent based off a player? I don't think it is, but I guess so. Which is weird. I didn't think that it was. Maybe I, duplicated it or something, and that's what's going on. Which is dumb. That should totally not be the case. That should just be, exports if we're going to do it that way. But, Dragon Spirit, how was your stream? Let's get that shout-out going. Shout-out Dragon Spirit. Dragon Spirit is building a really neat, platformer game called Gaia. Greek mythology themed. There we go. It's really cool. Yeah, how did it go? How did it go? Just sucked at my current stuff I need to do. I live there, Dragon Spirit. I feel you. Very juicy animations. I appreciate it. Incredible. Lots of updates since last I saw. Yeah, we're working a lot on trying to get some polish built in here. We've actually been going through this lovely resource, which was created by the Dead Cells former Dead Cells visual lead. And it kind of showcases all the different kind of layers of polish and how the experience changes purely with polish. If I disable all of these and then jump in, this is the prototype. We've all built this, right? We've all built this. But we haven't all built this, right? And so that's what we're going through and kind of turning on and off each of these individual categories to see okay, what do we need to do next? What do we need to do next? And we're right here. We've gone through this part. Now we're here. So there's a plenty left to do to keep on making stuff really cool. So, Dragon Spirit, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. You're doing some rad stuff, and I can't wait to see how it keeps on progressing. I made the simple functionality of going through a portal and took too long for such a simple thing. Yeah, I hear that. My brain was not in it. It happens, man. It happens. The important thing is that you're there, right? That you're putting in that consistent effort. And some days it's going to be harder. Some days it's going to be easier. That's just the way it goes. You're doing all right. Can you rotate the powers more? I hate that they all tween slightly off center. Well, that's not up to me, man. That's just randomness. That's just how it goes. They're the ones that are rotating. Yeah, incredible. I put the link in the chat. It's really, really, really cool. It's a great resource. So some of these are off-centered a lot. Some of them are horizontal. Some of them aren't. I know it's randomness, but it's not enough randomness for me. I think it will become more random as like when this guy throws down his board interference, right? Ooh, we need to have a spawning in sort of visual. Also, that looks like that got spawned off screen somewhere, so that's fun. In the end, at least it worked. There you go. There you go. That's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Okay. What am I doing? Right. Animation player. So we need to add a new animation of attack slide, I guess. Gotta go back to 2D, grab our animated sprite animation, and then we are going to add for our offset, and then once again up here, add another key, and this will be set to 50, I guess. Just slide forward. And then back to 0. Right there. Does that work? Yeah. Oh, but let's set up our easing correctly. Nice. All right. Cool. Cool. It's merely the thought that they all spawn uniformly that irritates me. Oh, Jack, that's funny. Maybe. maybe we'll change that. Next week, I'll be entering the GameDev.tv game jam. Let's see if we can actually finish something. That's super exciting, Dragon Spirit. I can't wait to hear how it goes. Oh my goodness, I thought about entering that one as well, but I'm gearing up for some more game jamming in a little bit. You always have to prioritize what you game jam. Super duper rad. That's awesome. Yeah, keep me up to date on what you're building there. Foolbox, are you on? Do you do Game Dev TV? I've been going through and learning shaders on them on their courses recently. It's been really, really cool. I just learned screen, like how to grab the screen capture and kind of map that and everything. It's really, 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 really cool stuff. The whole time I was thinking, ooh, how do I bring this into Overload? Ooh, this seems really cool. So let's do animation player. Yeah. Here. We don't need the sprite though. So animation player dot play attack slide. Okay. Animation player already exists. Oh, that's right, because it's already in the actor. Cool. So we can just keep that there. And then we can go to our villain, and then when the villain does an attack, then we animation player dot play slide attack. That's what it's called, right? Attack slide. Ooh, glad I checked that. Attack slide. Okay. Great. You did one of their jams at some point. The community is super nice. Oh, nice, Foolbox. That's awesome. My base comes from there, to be honest. Then some Jason Wyman and some Brackies, of course. Cute. That's awesome. I admit, I haven't watched a single Brackies tutorial. I should. I totally should. Okay, so we're sliding forward as the player when we shouldn't be. Where's our slide? Aha. This needs to go into anything that deals damage. So you need to go there. Shock. Yeah, just those two. Ooh. Internal script error. OP code, please report. What? Pointer size? Whoa. Code is OP. Interesting. I'm assuming this is an engine bug. It's saying please report it. I don't even know what to do for that though. How do I report it? Report a bug? Oh, I have to make a GitHub ticket? I don't know. If it keeps happening, maybe I'll report it. Making a ticket is kind of a lot. Just link your stream. There you go. It's not like it's gonna make the engine better. Foolbox, I don't know if you're being satirical or not. All right, let's keep going. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, we're not sliding, and we're sliding. We need shock. So red, red, yellow, yellow, purple. Good. Got the slide. You are. Okay. Good. And then the attack, he slid over. Did his thing. We're going to end the turn. Block. So, yeah, just squish squash. We didn't slide. Good. Just squish squash. We didn't slide. Let's try this again. We're on attack. And we slid. Good. Okay, that's all working. That's the only thing that will make the engine better, us. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I just, like, I'm so far out of my depth when it comes to that, you know? Like, I don't know how to report. I don't even know, like, what would be relevant information to submit. You know, looking at all this stuff, it's like these people know what they're talking about. And it looks like it went away, so I don't know. Sorry. Okay. Do we have code OP errors in here? No, just missing nodes. Okay. Which are not missing. Okay. Very cool. I want to pad out the villain turn a little bit better as well. I want to put a little bit of an introductory timer on it. Why do I hear Switzerland when someone breaks the code? What? Okay, so end turn. End turn. Half a second might be a little long. Like, I think it should be like a fifth of a second, but then also have some sort of visual indicator of saying like, ooh, it's the new person's turn, right? Before that fifth of a second. Okay, this is feeling better. We're getting there. We're getting somewhere better here. We do need some sort of end. The turn is ending signifier. And it would also be good to have some sort of like audible component to say that the turn is wrapping up. And I wonder if that should be like the music gets louder, or if we add in an extra sound effect like electricity that starts to kind of like zap in and out and get increasingly frequent. That's something to kind of think about. I want to add that later. Audible turn ending signifier. And then visual turn and animation. But in the meantime, oh no, we're in ads. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Oh, it's a Eurovision reference. Okay, all right. Yeah, I heard that one got pretty wild this time around. I don't know why. I don't really know anything about Eurovision, but I did hear it was pretty intense. But hey, check that out. I think we did it. We got squish squash and animation on the actors. So I'm gonna call that good. Let's get some check marks in the chat. Woo! We did things. Hooray! Okay, rad. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what should be the next thing that we do. Why don't I want to work on this? I think I don't want to work on this because I don't know what that's gonna be. So maybe that's something I can do is I can maybe break this down into some smaller steps so it's a little easier to approach. So maybe if we can find some lightning demos, that would be helpful. And then source sounds, if needed, write code. Okay, I'm going to delete all these. Bloop. And redefine that because we're not even in the click anymore. We're beyond the click. We have transcended click polish. Okay, so audible turn ending signifier. What are some games that use timers that the player needs to pay attention to, but may not be seeing constantly? Because I can think of a lot of games that have like status effect timers, and there are bars that go down, but like they're usually placed in a way that is pretty clear what's going on. And ours is kind of placed where it can be. Like we can't contextually display the timer bar, right? Like over the dots. Like we can't have like a poison bar that's going down on top of every single one, right? I guess we could move the timer up here. Maybe this goes back to our UI rework. If we move the timer up here, and it's going down, because your eye is naturally going to be kind of floating up to here, right? To try and see what new symbols are falling down. Maybe that's worth thinking about. So I mean, let's do this. This is gonna be my Windows notification, not yours. Okay, I need to find a way to turn off that sound. There we go. Do not play sounds when notification arrives. There we go. All right. So, what would this be like if we did this? Let's close that. Okay. So if that timer did not exist, and instead we had a timer up here. And it kind of slowly went down. And that's kind of nice, actually, because then it drags you down. Well, I was going to say it's nice because it drags you down until you get back to your player when your animation goes. But your animation isn't going to be going. It's going to be going as you execute the powers. So it seems like it should maybe be over here, right? Like tick down, tick down, tick down, tick down, blop. And now it's... And that kind of maps, right? It maps to the player's thought of, like, where is you know, it's leading into away from the player into the enemy. It kind of communicates it's going to be their turn. It might be a bit distracting though. It could be. It could be. One nice thing is we could like have this be an electricity thing that shrinks down, right? Or like a spark that's traveling along a wire or something. Maybe the bottom. Okay, so I mean, let's explore that. I was initially thinking not the bottom because it's not where your eye is going to be led naturally as the player, right? Your eye will be drawn down from the falling powers, yes, but my guess is that people are going to be leading the eye upwards in order to like see what new symbols are coming down. Ready for when we finish the next task. Whoa! Whoa, Fool Box. Outrageous. Outrageous. A rainbow check? How dare you make something so brilliant you make me want to steal it? I'm so far behind on my emotes, man. Oh my gosh, that's such an easy win. Steal it? Oh, I can't steal it. You already did it. It's the same reason I don't have a bunch of balls falling all around my face. I'll give it to you. I'll be an artist everywhere. There you go, Fool Box. Love it. Hey, Queen Anne, good to see you. How are you? Haven't even got the Fez emote? Wait. What? Is it not an emote? Oh, it's because it's our subscriber badge. Yeah. Which I'm also far behind on. I need to set up extra subscriber things and cycle through the different hats and stuff. There you go. How goes UI design? It's going well. It's going well, Queen Anne. We're kind of trying to discuss a conundrum I have where, we go back to Godot. We've got like all sorts of cool little animations set up and everything, and all that's going well. But then I want to have a way to communicate to the player better that the timer is going, is almost out, you know? Because down here, it's like it's really hard to like throw your eyes over there. I'd like to make that easier on the player. And you know what? I just remembered there was a game that came out somewhat recently that had a real-time component to a roguelike. Real-time roguelike. Yeah, Rungor. With an E. I'm not gonna lie, I never noticed the timer when I played your game. Yeah, exactly, Fool Box. Trying to get in a work headspace, hoping hanging out for a bit will achieve that. Well, I hope so, Queen Anne. Let's talk some work stuff. Let's talk design and just enrich our brains in that. Could you move the timer to the bottom and move the player health and enemy health into the top center and scale up the player and enemy sides? And scale up the player and enemies. So, are you saying, we cut all these and go to overload. What is this? Oh, that was stuff we did for Alex. Okay. So this is what we've got right now. Are you saying if I were to take this as our example here, move these like into here and then scale this up? Let's shift all this. Oh, come on. Whoop, 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 whoop. Change your fill. Whoop, 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 whoop. Like that? It's an interesting thought. You could maybe see that. And then the timer gets rotated. Squish. Squash. And then let's nuke that, and then bring in our powers. So that it's a little more consistent. And then mask. Oops. Cut. Paste. Shrink. Whomp. There we go. I'm also not super satisfied with this power UI either. So, like, I just don't know what moving the health in does for us. I mean, I guess it keeps the health information in the place where we're clicking on things. That's kind of nice. I wish there was a way that I could have this stuff in here as well and not just be, like, totally cluttering up the dots. Also couldn't make combos because my brain can't keep the order of the color in my mind. Foolbox. So that's another thing I need to do is I need to swap these out so that they're not just colors, but they're also shapes. That's something that's on the list to do. Trying to get in the sleepy vibe. Not sure if it's just because I'm watching a stream, but it looks kind of small to me. Well, it looks kind of small. The powers? What if we, like, slid the slider, or the timer up? Kind of had it going between the bars. I mean, okay, if we did that, we could potentially move this so that this is going to be goes. We could do that, right? Then these sidebars almost don't even matter, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what we would do to remove those. Like, we could, if we did this, right? We could just make it full screen. Oh, that's selecting the entire frame. I don't want the whole frame. I just want the rectangle. You know? Heck, we could even, now, I was thinking we could do, like, something really dynamic, you know, where we have, like, some diagonal sort of UI. And then, oh, that's the stroke. Whoops. You know. Could do this is I'm diving too deep into an idea that I don't actually like. But I guess I'm having fun. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It feels kind of interesting to me, but also not, because, like, this still feels like this really awkward space that we're not going to be taking advantage of. Might be a step too far into the polish zone, but having a timer that counts down from both ends is really striking and might help draw eyes a little. What do you mean by both ends, Queen Anne? Help me to understand what you're communicating there. Oops. You and you you. And then you. No! Stop selecting the whole friggin' frame! It would be something like that. I mean, obviously that's really gross, but maybe when you click on a power, you get an outline of the combo you made so far pop up at the bottom or top. An outline of the power. Oh, so you're saying like click on one of these to like set it as your active one that you're trying to get, and you kind of get like a visual of it somewhere? Maybe have powers fired in from the sides. What do you mean fired in from the sides? I was also thinking of making it full screen, but have a bar at the top where all the UI is. Okay, yeah. Skyrim health bar style, I'd imagine, is what they meant for both ends. Okay. I think that's fair. It's an interesting thought. I mean, this is definitely feeling more dynamic and open than this does, right? This feels much more rigid and boxed in. I mean, especially this, right? Which is what we have right now. This feels much more rigid, boxy. This feels more organic, dynamic, exciting, maybe. The trick is, like, how do we make that also feel communicative? So like it goes from, oh, I see what you're saying. So it would be like this. So, and your turn's up, right? Like that. It's an interesting thought. Have symbols move horizontally as well as vertically. Maybe introduce some more skill into it. Interesting. So you could have stuff falling down as well as from the sides. So they kind of collide and bounce around over here. Okay. Because the tricky thing is, what I'm thinking about is if we end up just doing, you know, if we just change it so that it spawns in full width, then we're going to have empty stuff, or stuff hidden all the way down to here, right? And that's not a whole lot of time to react. Like, we might as well just not even have these spaces. If they come in from the side, like, can we minimize this UI a bunch? Oh, come on, Figma. Like, I'm just kind of playing around with what would it look like if we had things a lot smaller, right? And let's actually make this as a new frame. Okay. Okay, bring you over here. No, don't shrink, just get dragged. Okay. And then shrink. Boop, boop, boop. And drag you up. And then up. And then over here. I'm almost kind of starting to get like Persona vibes with like these sharp angles and kind of fitting things into spaces, right? Kind of interesting. Mighty Nate on YouTube. I'm imagining the fruit flying in from all sides of the screen in Fruit Ninja. I'm familiar with Fruit Ninja, of course, but I want to see like a visual of what that really means. Bring this over here. Or add in some random horizontal velocity to symbols when they spawn, so they naturally disperse a bit more when they fall. I could see that. Currently, they all fall at the same speed and don't really hit into each other. It's true. It's true, Jack. It's very true. So, yeah, Fruit Ninja is kind of like stuff is getting tossed up that you're supposed to slice. Like, am I seeing what you were meaning to communicate, Nate? There are also times when fruit are coming in from the sides. Okay. Ah, like this. Okay. Got it. You get tossed up with different speeds, so go to different heights. Yeah. Okay. I kind of like this idea. Like, I almost wonder if we had, like, different emitters, right? So we had, like, one over here, or maybe, like, 3, and then mirror those, and then kind of over here, and then over here. So we would pick at any given point, like 4 of these would be active and they would randomly turn on and off at different times. That could be kind of interesting. Fruit Ninja is a banger. Every time you open a tab, I got flashbanged. I'm sitting in my room in the dark. Shoot. That's kind of an interesting idea. And one of the reasons I really like that is because it kind of feels like sparks, like shooting out, right? And I think that's kind of a neat tying in visually to that concept of electricity. That's one thing I've been really struggling with is like, how do these dots correlate to like an electrically themed superhero? They don't at all. But now if they're like sparks and electrical currents and stuff, you know, it's kind of interesting. We could even start playing a lot with that electrical idea, where, you know, if these got spat out of this one, right? So they're spat out, then what if we had like some sort of electricity connection between these two? And if you click on one, you also click on the other. Or if you click on one, it will do both of them, but only apply like what is next in the combo and disregard something else if it doesn't exist. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I think the varied directions would feel more dynamic. I agree, Nate. Yeah, I think you and Jack are on the right track here. I think there's something there. I think there's something interesting. Alternating current goes back and forth. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Zaft. Yeah. Very good point. Okay. This is interesting. It'd be really cool to have different bosses have different preferences for which spawners are active. Interesting, Queen Anne. Interesting. Because like I almost wonder how the different spawners being active would affect the gameplay. Like, if you had all of them on all the time, would that be an easier experience than fewer? Because obviously, if you have none, it's going to be hard. If you have one, it's going to be hard. But like, I'm imagining once you have 3 to like 20, is that going to make much of a difference? I don't know. Like, could a boss say, I'm going to turn off the amount of spawners that you get or lower it? I could see that, but then we also have to like visually communicate the spawners to the player, which I'm not convinced I want to do yet. Because like we could have like a you know, some sort of a, you know, one of these guys. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then, oops. Could have sworn there was a blend mode that would kind of get rid of that background for me, but, you know. if we had these sticking out of the screen, you know, Alt-H. Alt-H? Control-H. No, dang it. Alt-Shift-H. Alt-Control-H. Dang it. Which, I never remember this one. Shift, it's just Shift. Why do I keep thinking there's an Alt in there? So one tricky thing is if we do it this way, now we also have to have stuff coming down from the top, right? And it kind of starts to like muddy the UI up. Because even if we, you know, say had all of these turned off, and so they're going to be like semi-opaque, or they're going to have, you know, a dulled appearance, that's still pretty noisy. You could have some come from the top, from the sides, and some from the bottom, then they change which spawners they use as they play, and just have it as an enemy turn effect, like their move is change spawner. Could be. What if the spawners come in and out as they become? That's true. We could completely get rid of them, right? So instead of being, you know, there, they just disappear. But then we still have this problem of like, do they go over the UI? Do they integrate with the UI? We'd have to do it so that they, yeah, it would have to be like fitting inside or something, right? We couldn't have it over the top of. Maybe just have lightning effects around the area that they're coming from. Yeah, I mean, you could have a, you know, effect happening over here, right? Like a raid boss type sort of thing, where it's saying, hey, this is coming soon. Oh, and we're in ads. Darn it. Darn it. I don't want ads. Okay, fine. We'll do ads. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. There we go. I think having bosses have preferences would naturally create visual patterns. It would be more of a visual change than a gameplay change. I don't think you need any UI for that. So, Zaft, it sounds like you're kind of talking about almost turning it into, like, almost into a bullet hell, right? Where, to kind of extend that idea out further, like, you would have symbols slide across the screen in the shape of the ohm letter, right? Kind of idea. It's an interesting thought. From a design perspective, I think what that would communicate is that the villain is like the method through which your character interacts with things, and that kind of seems like an interference signal to me. I don't know, I need to think about it a little bit more. You had a joke pen that would shock you if you tried to click on it. Hilarious. Zaft is on the same page as I am. It's mostly visual where they're coming from, like a boss that does them from left and not the right would mostly just feel different. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I was thinking more organic than that, but yeah. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure like we're kind of on the same page. So like, for example, we nuked these. So for one level, oops, not the powers. For one level, they're kind of like floating in like this. For another level, they're coming down. Another level, they're coming up, sort of a thing. And then another level, maybe diagonal, and like two things are coming up at diagonally. That's an interesting thought. So like, I'm gonna put just some arrows in to like say, look, coming in from different directions. You remember that some waves in Fruit Ninja come sideways even though they don't form a specific shape. Yeah, for sure. So I'll tell you the thing that's like really intriguing for me is if there could be some sort of verisimilitude in this space of like if I could comic panel warehouse electrical. Let me try and find like an appropriate background here. Eesh, that one's bloody. Let's not do that one. Warehouse comic book style. Man, I'm not able to find a whole lot. That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, beggars can't be choosers. We'll just grab this. So what intrigues me about this concept is we could have kind of this background happening, and then the level that is happening could have relevant things that are kind of affecting. Hey, I remember the keyboard shortcut that time. Like there could be electrical sparks, like there could be a machine in the background that is doing this, and is what is generating that electrical current, right? So I think that's a really compelling idea for me. What a word. You know, you could do this, and then, I mean, gosh, if we even, like, take that even further, slide this up, and then these guys go up here, and then this comes up, and that goes away, and then we can place our characters directly in the space, right? Which is pretty cool. And this is why I kind of wanted like a good comic book warehouse. I don't know, maybe put the enemies in tension like right there or something. I mean, gosh, we could even continue to abstract this. So like, it's not even this and this. It's like, overload. Like we have stills of. Well, okay. We could have like this, you know, have a cool action scene playing out in the background, and it's just like a still comic panel, right? And we got our bro going in and fighting the mooks, right? And that just stays still as like a comic book panel, and then we go through and do all this, and then it plays, right? Could do that. We could also Once again, have it a little more integrated. Scale it up. Kind of have our different people here. Would that be confusing if these dots are like going on top of the player and everything and animations are happening and stuff? I feel like the characters have lost a reason to exist at that point. I could see that, Zaft. Yeah, before you made it into a panel. Yeah. All right, Jack, you take care. Go get some sleep. Thanks for hanging out and thanks for your cool ideas. Appreciate you. So, I don't know. So one benefit from the old version is you very clearly know what your space is, right? You know what you can interact with, you know what's there. This starts to muddy the lines a little bit. And I worry about covering up the player. Like it would be, if I bring up Slay the Spire, which like every indie game goes to, right? This is kind of the feel that I get from it, but constantly, where you have your game information overlaid on top of the world. And that feels a little weird. Like if this were happening constantly and randomly across the screen, covering stuff up, I feel like that would be really annoying, right? I don't know. These are some good little design sticky wickets. I do like this more minimal sort of bar. I like it a lot. And I kind of like the idea of like the art being in the background. Because before, the only art was in these like character sections. And I like it becoming like a main focus of the screen. And I think the idea of like the environment affecting how your character is getting electricity, I think that's really compelling as well. It's more work for me, but I think it's an interesting idea. If it was just a picture for flavor, it wouldn't matter if it was covered up. I think it works the best with something like this, where it's like some dynamic pose, it is a still frame, an abstract representation of what fight is actually happening. If we start animating things, then I think that goes out the window. Because I don't think you want to have animations running in between while you're trying to click on stuff, right? In Slay the Spire, the UI is also a part of that layer, like their intentions and what type of enemies there are. Yeah. So are you saying like it would be on the same layer as the cards? Yeah, I guess I'm not totally following. This would simplify a lot of development work. Because then all of a sudden it's just like commission a bunch of different art assets and kind of clearly state, hey, this needs to have points of electricity generation like here, 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 and here, right? Whereas here, now we need to have animations. But also, would that lose a lot of that verisimilitude if we don't have the animations playing? The moment you put the intention at the top, my brain immediately went into ignore everything below except the balls. Yeah, Zaft. Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. I'm saying that what would be annoying in Slay the Spire would not really be as annoying in this space. Yeah, I think you guys are kind of saying similar things where it's like, when we take this sort of a dynamic, right? Let's get rid of these arrows. They're not needed anymore. If we take this sort of a dynamic, then all of our information is up here, which is nice. That's good. I like that. What I don't like is the characters have now disappeared, right? It feels like we've removed a lot of the characterness of the game. The other way to look at it maybe is more like old school pinball table. Okay, I'm intrigued. Let me get a good picture here. Boop. So, fill me in. They're just a show that you might or might not notice in the background. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, they can be like thematic and stuff, but really at the end of the day, like this dude being there does not matter, right? This is purely art. The characters are the flashing lights and stuff that just exist in the background. Yeah. And like, I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of doesn't like that. There's a part of me that feels a lot of the important connection with superhero content is the spectacle of kind of like observing the character and feeling in that space. That being in the world is very important. And in that regard, I like the full background, but also I really want to find a way to make this matter. Like, okay. Here's an idea. What if we do this type of a thing, right? Where we have our characters kind of in the background and we're like pausing and stuff. And then every time you do a power, come on. All the UI disappears. We get a little bit of a flash. This goes full opacity, and then animation plays. And it happens in like a third a second. So activate a power, UI disappears, jump in, do the animation, cut back. Would that be too much? Just gonna kind of indicate that so I don't forget it. Would that be way too much to have happening, considering you're going to be doing maybe 4 to 6 powers on your turn? On power usage, remove UI and animate for 0.3 seconds. I think even if you're not focusing on the art, people will feel that connection when it's there. Okay? If I play the game once, awesome. If I play it repeatedly, not so much. Yeah, Zaft. So would it be worth it to enable it if just like people are going to disable it, right? Like if I put in, if I say this is the intended experience, but I recognize it's going to be annoying if people play it a bunch. So I have an option to like turn off move animations. Is that just gonna like be a ton of work that nobody really cares about? Then again, would this market the game? Like, this is a very juicy moment, right? It makes great trailers. So if it would get people to come in and make the sale, that's effort that's worth it. I would love to have both things. I'd love to eat my cake and have it too. Depends on how much you're willing to invest on first-time players. Yeah. I worry about the scope involved with having unique animations for each power. Also, how would it go if you use 2 powers in one turn or more than... Well, I mean, you just play the animation for a third a second, and then it resets to this, right? With the timer still going in the same state that it was already in. But, I mean, it is a good point, though, because, like, you're losing... So, when we remove the UI, the game is paused, right? And then we resume, but then, like, do we have a countdown timer to bring you back into it? Do we just keep you going? Because, like, right now is kind of, I think, how we want the feel to be of... Come on, play. When you do a power, you can jump immediately into doing the next one, and you're not, like, having this cognitive catch-up of, oh, right, this is kind of what the board state was in. You can kind of just go, right? And I think that's good. Jam Biscuit with the raid. Hello, welcome on in, everyone. It's so good to see you. We are trying to figure out how to kind of refactor the UI and bring some polish into this whole experience. We're a charitable enterprise devoted to helping people enter the game industry, and right now we're building a game that was created during my last game jam that we hosted, and we're going to be doing a new one, in July. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. How do we make this feel a lot better? Welcome on in, Jam Biscuit. How is your stream? How are things? How's your project coming? Yeah, how was your Magic Roguelike? Are you still working on that? So we're kind of exploring all these different ideas of, like, if we started here, how do we get this timer? First off, because this is... Oh, I need to go back to the browser. This timer is like, it's your turn timer, right? Like, this is how much time you have to click on things to activate your abilities. So you can click on 2 red dots and a blue dot when all these dots are flying around, and you will do 1 damage. But that timer is so far out of the way that it's really hard to keep track of. I was trying to think, like, do we want, like, an auditory timer type sort of thing to keep you tracking down? And then it kind of sent us down this whole thought of, like, well, what if we started moving things around? Maybe we put the timer on the middle of the screen, put the rest of the UI in the middle of the screen. We've kind of just been pushing and pushing and pushing that idea until we've kind of gotten to this concept of a much more heavily reduced UI, which is a good thing. We're trying to debate right now, like, if we have these dots falling down and we have, like, a picture of an abandoned warehouse in the background with your characters fighting the bad guys, what happens when you do a power? Because when it was very heavily compartmentalized, you know, we can have an animation play right here, and an animation play right here, and then all of a sudden it's fine. But now we're in this sort of a space, and, like, dots may be falling on top of characters and everything. Maybe when you do a power, the UI disappears, and your character goes and does the animation and comes back, and then we hit play again. Then I was talking about, like, I don't know, because then do we reset the board? Do we maintain what it was and then just make the player play mental catch-up and remembering where everything was? It's just kind of a lot. Kind of pivoted to a game jam game you made. Okay, very appropriate, Jam Biscuit. What kind of a game jam? Can you envision just playing the animation in the background? I mean, we could. We could. I just worry about the dots obscuring everything and making it, like, kind of impossible to view. So, making your first Godot game. Oh, very exciting, Jam Biscuit. Wonderful. How's that going? How's learning Godot going? Let me go to, I think Quantic Flex maybe was playing a game that had an idea of this in it recently. Okay. Not Quantic Flex. It must have been, who? Indie Buffet, maybe? Yeah, Indie Buffet with Witching Stone. So if we jump in here, you can see, like, they have their version of this right here, right? And then they have the whole UI and everything. But the problem is, this is turn-based. So you don't have to, like, conceptualize. You don't have to have, like, the Twitch, you know, oh shoot, click, 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 click. You know, this would be a really small space for that. Hick's Law, or not Hick's Law, Fitz Law, right? The amount of time it takes you to mouse over to something, the difficulty of clicking on something is a factor of how far you have to go and how big the touch target is. So this would be a very small touch target, and granted, you wouldn't have to necessarily move very far, but they'd be pretty small, especially if they're moving and everything. I don't know, feels pretty rough. I don't know. But maybe that's a better idea. I don't know. If you really want to go crazy, the animation could have ripple effects on the dots themselves. Shockwaves, push and pull. Yeah, it's true. They could interact with that. Absolutely. Team LDM. Let me jump back into the game. So the idea is it's kind of Helldivers-esque, right? Where you have your stratagems and you have to like input arrow keys in an order in order to call down an aerial barrage. Similar idea here, but instead of the arrow keys, it's these dots that you have to click on as they're falling. So in order to use Brawl and deal 1 damage, I have to do a red, and a blue. I can do more complex powers that give me more benefits, but they're harder to pull off. And I have to do all that within the timer. Once the timer runs out, the bad guy takes their turn, dealing damage, gaining defense, messing with my board somehow, and then it goes back to my turn. And we swap back and forth. That's the basic gameplay loop. We're going to have a whole like downtime system on top of this of like once you beat a fight, how do you manage your personal time? Because that's always a part of great superhero stories, right? But for now, we're kind of just focusing on how do we get this, the real core experience, feeling fantastic. So that's the basic idea, Team LDM. What if you queued up all the powers you do in a turn and did a small animation for each of them in order after the timer expires? Okay, take care, Jam Biscuit. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you. And thanks everyone who came over with Jam Biscuit. Do a small animation for each of them in order. I like that idea. I think the tricky thing would be if you can do something at the start of your turn that would change your decisions at the end of the turn, right? Just making sure that we're communicating that. Because, like, for example, we have this chain lightning, right? Which can only get turned on after you have a certain amount of energy. And you can gain energy through your powers. So, like, if you're at the start of your turn, you may want to gather energy and then use chain lightning. So, like, how do we communicate to the player that they actually can do that? We could just have the indicator fill up as you do things and then do like a recap, kind of like Fights in Tight Spaces does their end of fight sort of video thing, right? Where it's, come on, it's turn-based, but then at the end of doing all your cards, at the end of the fight, it goes through and plays the whole thing over again in real time. Something maybe similar to that? I don't know. Could that work? I feel like people would kind of just skip it once again, you know? If it's not actually going to matter to the gameplay, I think they're just going to say, I'm out. You appreciate it? Yeah, exactly, Zaft. Yeah. Appreciate being there once or twice and never again. Yeah. So then we kind of start going back to the idea of having more rigid space defined, right? Where it's like, this is the player. And heck, maybe we even like do a really tight, like, portrait thing, right? And then, similar over here. And like, it's so tight and in that it's pretty clear what's happening. Like if we did a superhero sprite. Transparent. Just want to grab. Sure. We'll bring in Sanic. Oh no! Anyways, you get the idea, right? Like, and then, hold on, I need to bring this in. Incredible. Okay, you know, if it were something like that, all of a sudden I feel like that, relationship is kind of communicated. And then when you activate a power, like, it goes, it brightens things up, right? But the dots are still going. You still have everything. So, like, it flashes up, and the characters do their animation in the background. Rah! Ah! Dots are still falling, right? Is it important to be able to charge Chain Lightning and cast Chain Lightning in the same turn? Would removing that change the core experience? It's a really good question, Queen Anne. Very, very good question. Because what you're basically saying is, do we want... Would a queue system be acceptable? And I think what it would do is it would turn it into something much more like Dungeon Crawler. If I can grab this. Oh dear. Okay. Shrink it down. So it would shift the experience to be more like Dungeon Crawler, right? Oh dear. What did I do? There we go. Where you pick things up in Dungeon Crawler, and it goes and drops down your items, which you then execute in order. So could we do something like that for Overload? What would that affect? I think it makes it feel more turn-based to me. Makes it feel less dynamic. It would kind of... It would make it feel less fluid, but it would also kind of create this feeling of charging up a little bit more. And I do like that, right? Because you would say, I'm going to get a ton of energy this turn, and the next turn I unleash it. And that does kind of represent that electrical boosting up type sort of experience. But it does also start to make it feel a whole lot more turn-based, in my opinion. And I think I don't like that. Hey, COD Zombies, you made it. Welcome in. We do have ads just in time for you to join the stream. It's good to see ya. How you doing? We have ads starting in just a second. We'll be right back for our last little stretch of this. And we'll keep going. Thank you. This is being a really interesting discussion. I really value it. Thank you, everyone. We'll be right back to keep it going. Sokatoa. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. So good to have you here. Welcome. That's becoming Final Fantasy turn-based style. Yeah, in a way. I agree. So yeah, I just... There's a part of me that's saying we want to keep it more fluid, even though I can't necessarily describe perfectly well why. And I think I just gotta lean into that intuition. At least until I get more information that says, no, we really do need to swap. And that could definitely happen. I'm gonna procrastinate a little bit. Like, what if we had our powers here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's nearly perfect. Brawl. And then circle. 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 Doot, doot, doot. Tidy up. Then we can copy all of this. Group. And then if you have like... Oh, shoot. Hold on. Oops. There we go. Now we can copy. Doot, 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 doot. And then let's say you are like actively working on this one, right? We could give it that sort of a look. That feels a lot more easy to read. I'm liking this direction. I just really need to find a route for the animations. My feeling when you showed the game was bullet chess. And I think for that you need input, reaction, input. Bullet chess. What is bullet chess? I'm getting a bunch of pictures of chessboards where the pieces are bullets. Just chess under a minute. Okay, got it. Okay. Understood, Zaft. Yeah. Man, I'm really loving this direction. Like, I think this discussion has been really great. As long as we can get something going for the animations. Actually lets us do these bigger too, which is nice. Nah. Anyways, I'm digging into visual design polish I do not need to be doing right now because we're still trying to figure out structurally, how does this look? My 2 cents is that it is currently turn-based. And it is currently turn-based. You do stuff during your turn that is reflex-based, but your opponent has to wait until you're done to move. If your moves go through as you do them, or if they're queued up, it doesn't change any functionality. Might change the feel, though, that I understand. So it would change functionality for this type of a system, right? Like, that is to say, if we only let them execute on this, if they have the amount of energy that they need. If we let them queue it up, regardless of whether they have the energy or not, then I think we could make the argument that it's going to be the same thing. But I think it would be harder if we're queuing it to see... Well, but once again, we could just have it correspond to the UI and then not be in the game state until after your turn is over, and then everything goes through. But then do we do hit points at the same time. And then we're kind of back to the same thing of like, do we just do the animations for everything after the turn? Yeah. No, I appreciate all this, Queen Anne. This is getting me looking at things from different angles, and I so deeply value that. I think it's the same, just changes the feeling. Glad I'm able to help with that. It is a tremendous help. Very grateful. Having a blast just thinking about this stuff too. I appreciate it, Saf. No, I mean, you guys are being super helpful. And everyone else who's just watching and hanging out, also being incredibly helpful. Thank you, all of you. I love this sort of stuff because it's these deep design decisions that when you find the right answer are so completely obvious. And that obviousness is obfuscating the tremendous amount of work that went into getting it to that point, right? So we might be at the point where we just kind of need to start actually prototyping it out and seeing how it goes. The answer was the friends you made along the way, for real. We might just need to start prototyping a couple of different options and then seeing how they feel. And ideally, how they feel to people who are not me. So I think this is an idea where as you're playing, things kind of zoom into focus, play their animations, and go. I'm kind of curious how this game handles it. If we turn on our noise, what happens when he takes a turn here? It slides down, you get your animation. It's important to note you're also only doing one power at a time, right? So you take one turn, that's all you get to do.
Yeah, it's just that.
But I think you can also like repeat things if you have stuff in the right activation order.
And actually I could do this. Dun, dun, dun.
So that's that one. What about Puzzle Quest? Not Puzzle. Hey, JD, good to see you. How are you, friend? Welcome on in. You wear a fez. Fezzes are cool. Fezzes are cool. We put the fez on whenever Foolbox shows up. So Foolbox was in the stream pretty early today. So the fez was donned early on. By the way, if people don't know JD does dev, he's a fantastic streamer doing some really cool 3D work right now. Definitely go check him out. Rad guy building rad things. Okay. What were we looking? Oh yeah, Puzzle Fighters. I'm kind of curious how that works out. If I can find like a good video of it. Making a game about a bear and fire, and that sums up my life. Oh, JD. Oh, shoot. I understand. I understand, and I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's grab this. Let's see how Puzzle Fighter handles this situation. So they have their stuff condensed in the middle, but they also have like two different playing fields, which we don't have. So like, I mean, if we kind of played around with this and went like a totally different direction, right? We could have all this fun stuff, and then have it only take up like that much of the screen or something. And this is gonna be ugly, but that's fine. Select, deselect, deselect. Okay, so all of this is happening over here, and then we have our characters happening over here, right? So that's another option. Bring up your opacities. 0, I guess. Remove. You know, now we can have all of those animations and everything happening while we're over here. We're using up half the screen real estate, and the rest is being taken up with stuff like this. We could have intention brought over here, right? And scaled up. Let's outline. Scaled up, you know? Could start doing stuff like that. I'm not necessarily sold on that, but it's an interesting idea. Whatever's happening on that right corner better be amazing, otherwise I don't think most people would even see it. I think you're probably right, Zaft. I think you're probably right. What are some other games that have kind of similar situations where there's this real-time element that is separated from the actual game itself that's happening? Did talk about Run Gore. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, sure. Let's get something that's a little bit more recent than a full year ago. Has no one been playing Run Gore earlier than 7 months ago? Didn't it just come out? All right, Tudu. Let's see what you got.
Berserk doing? Don't know. Yeah, let's use the armor.
So it's the same thing with the cards, right?
You know, I want to heal up. Boss.
Okay, so here's another concept, right? You and you remove your layers here. We're gonna shrink you down. You are now like the main content of the screen. This is kind of like the match 3 game that we were looking at just a second ago. And then all of the dots are now going to be passing through like a big metal tube. We'll do a gradient, radial, and extend it out. And then like this is somewhere over here, and then this is somewhere over here. Okay. Now we have all these things flying through a tube. So now it's not so much about this omnidirectional up-down type sort of relationship. It's this, like, things are moving either left to right or right to left. I think that removes a lot of the physics. You know, if things like bump into each other, there's kind of only so much space they're going to be able to take. It also kind of moves all of this stuff away. So, like, what if... Once again, maybe spending too long on an idea that I'm not even really happy about. What if you moved that up to the top and then grabbed these guys and moved them all down? Wario's Woods. And we're back to square one. My eyes do be looking at the balls, but the timer and intention are on the other side of the screen. Yeah, exactly. Wario's Woods. Let's check this out. Mighty Nate, if you want, you could have 2 lines, one moving left to right and the other right to left. Could be. Let me grab Wario's Woods real quick. NES playthrough. Okay, we'll wait for the ad to go by. Bloop. Okay. Skip forward. Okay, so you've got, man, I think I played this. So you've kind of got that concept of, like, this character up here doing something, but, like, your main player is down here. What is Birdo doing? What is Birdo's job in this game? I don't understand. Also, why is Link a fairy? And throwing bombs at Toad inside of a tree. Oh, and there's Wario. She's reminding you that the timer is... Is that literally her entire job, is just to say, look at the timer? Because that's hilarious, if that's true. Man, look at this old UI design. Like that pink bar going past the blue outline and everything. Feels weird to me. Feels like this is supposed to be a border, but maybe it's like a glass sort of effect. I don't know. It's supposed to be a glass capsule. And so Wario is just saying like, hey, scary time? The day Miyamoto took some LSD. I thought that was just Birdo in general. So what happens when your timer runs out? So the thing is, if we take this and apply it to Overload, the intention is up here, right? This is the intention. And then this is our turn timer of going between normal and Insano style mode, right? So Wario comes in and he starts throwing all sorts of things and making it a lot harder. We even get a different intention sprite, right? Okay, so we've kind of explored that idea of moving the intention to a different spot. Man. And this is the same sort of idea that I had of like these rigidly defined boxes, right? Like this is for the turn information, this is for your player information, and this is where the play actually happens. It's the same layout we had over here, which is like, that's cool that I recreated something that Nintendo did, because that means good, but also it was something Nintendo did like 35 years ago. They could probably do it better now, right? So I don't want to say like, yeah, see, that's a good idea. Where's their timer in this? Because this is real time. I guess it's not a timer. It's like active battle system style. So that every action has a timer, including the bad guys, and the health is your real like timer. That makes sense. Okay. If Miyamoto dropped acid, he would have died in the caves behind his house. Oh, shoot. Huh. Well, this has been fascinating. I think I need to give my brain a little bit of time to kind of think about this. So maybe this would be a good time to end the stream. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Appreciate y'all. This has been awesome. We got a lot of really good work done. We got all that squish squash going. We got a lot of UI conceptualization and everything, breaking a lot of the molds of kind of what we've considered and everything. It's been great. Thank you so much for your time here and for hanging out with us all. Only 2.5, yeah, 14 hours. We're saving up for when we do the game jam. That's when we're gonna be doing a lot. That's when we're gonna be doing a lot of streaming. Let's go ahead and raid into Crispy Sense. Crispy Sense is a YouTuber. Once again, we've been doing this a little bit where we're raiding into non-game dev streams because it's important to reinforce that we build relationships with content creators while we're building games. And in the game dev community on Twitch, we can kind of be a little bit insular. And my question is always, do you want to market your game? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. So make relationships with content creators so they will market it for you. So we're going to go hang out with Crispy Sense. He's kind of a smaller YouTuber, which is always a good time to get in and try and support them. He's playing through Diablo 4. Go hang out, say hi, make a quick connection, mix it up with your hot tub stream. I hope you have a good day as well, Queen Anne. Best of luck getting into your work mode. I hope this was helpful for you. And yeah, just go in, say hi, make a quick connection, and we'll go about our day. So with that being said, thank you so much for hanging out. It's been a wonderful time. As a reminder, we are a charitable enterprise to help you and everyone that wants to enter into the game industry. So we're doing that by building this game right now on stream and trying to develop that skill set myself and share that with everyone. As well, we have our game jam coming up in July, which we're very excited about. We're going to have news on that coming soon. So that being said, we'll see you next time. JD, I am choosing to believe that is a factual statement that you do have a hot tub stream where you make connections, and I will see you next time.